ways to increase your auric layers and help you feel more confident and charismatic. Okay, so before I start off the topic, Pranam, Namaste. My name is Garret. My mission as a life coach is to help people realize their infinite potential by tapping into spirituality, the law of attraction, and Feng Shui. I'm very blessed to be trained under a Himalayan yogi who's taught me the ways of the yogic teachings, as well as spirituality, which is the whole umbrella of life. So before I start the topic off, please make sure you guys remember to hit like, subscribe, and comment your learnings in the comment section below. It'll be good to connect in the space as well. So please do share where you're tuning in from, so we'll be able to connect in this space. Okay, I'm dedicated to make 4 videos a week to spread more light and positivity out there to the world. Okay, so without further ado, let's head into the topic. So why, you might be thinking, why should I actually expand my auric layers and expand my energy fields, right? So we are all energy beings, know that. So as energy beings, we all emit some form of energy through us. Okay, so I would like to liken it as that you have a shell protecting you, because you're a spiritual being in a physical shell, right? So that spiritual being might emit a certain protective shell around you. Okay, so certain people who are trained in viewing auras, they can actually see a dense or even a dull kind of white layer around physical body. So those are actually trained in viewing auras. Just so you know, every one of us can actually view auras, and we can actually train ourselves to do it. So all you need to do is under bright white light, and you hold your hands on a white back wall and just stare at your hands, or just stare at your fingers for a short period of time. Then you start to realize that actually you can actually observe there's, with your peripheral vision, you could actually start to see there's a white layer around your fingers. So that is what we call your aura. Okay, if you have very dense aura, it means that you are very healthy and you are very strong in terms of your auric layers. Okay, so if that's just a simple way to view your auric field. Okay, the more experienced people or with more spiritual gifts, they have really unlocked they already activated their third eye, and they are able to use a bit of clairvoyance in terms of their gifts to actually view auras. They are able to sort of see colors in different people's aura, and that color would just show the dominance of that person using their chakra points. So certain people, they are more dominant in the heart chakra, they will emit more green in them. So take for instance as that. Okay, and people who like to speak a lot, they may be using a lot more of their throat chakra, which is blue in color. So yeah, it's all around it's all shown in the auric layers as well. Okay, so the more experienced people can actually view it. Okay, so you might be thinking, why should I actually expand my auric fields? So I would like to say one of these example. If you're in a room or in a party, right, then there's suddenly out of nowhere there's this person that just stepped into the space, and everyone just goes silent and just started to stare at that person. And it's not that the person has a grand entry or anything. It's not like that person is wearing flashy clothing or has speak in a loud way to attract all the attention, but this person somehow feels different. Okay, and you just can't tell why. So, and it feels like that person is charismatic and confident. I'm pretty sure you might have encountered certain occasions like that, maybe in a presentation or in a room where you're in class or whatever. You might have felt a certain presence from that person. So that is what we call an energy field from that person, that who is confident and charismatic. So that auric layer that person possess is actually strong. That's the reason why you're actually feeling it. Okay, so if you have strong auric layers, right, and if you expand it so much, right, that's how you could you could make people feel as well you're charismatic. You actually use it you can actually make it good use in the working world out there. It's very useful. Okay, and yeah, but the most best understanding of actually using the auras to protect you is the most important aspects. Because why? Whenever we use auras, right, you must understand there's energy attacks out there. Okay, so especially in the age of technology, we are using a lot of social medias as well as we get exposed to a lot of emails as well as calls and so on and so forth. So all this holds a lot of energies, and it is affecting us as energy beings. Okay, so some of the energy attacks that you might encounter, and with good aura you can actually fend off all these energy attacks. So one of which is psychic energies. So psychic energies basically, when a simple example, maybe you like to post videos on Instagram, or you like to post videos on TikTok. So when you post something that is really impressive, and certain people get jealous and they start to badmouth you at the back. So all these are certain forms of energy attacks as well, because there's a thought process. Whenever people generate negative emotions, then hate remarks or hate emotions of their own insecurities, right, they would actually possess, and they will actually emit this sort of energy attacks towards you, because they basically they're insecure, right? That's why they emit this sort of energy attacks. So having strong auras can actually fend off this form of psychic energies. Okay, secondly, you can actually protect yourself from negative emotions from other people. So if, let's say, you're out for events, and you might have met a lot of people that are really pessimistic, and they are very negative people. They start complaining every time they meet up with you, and they start telling you. Or you might have met up with a lot of people that are energy vampires, which I've actually mentioned before in one of my TikTok videos. It's just so that these people are trying to sap your energy away. They keep telling you negative stuff. So having good auric protection or auric layers would actually help you fend off this negativity. Okay. Thirdly, strong astrological energies. So there's certain occasions whereby interconstellations, planetary involvements, and revolving of alignments, right, could actually produce a certain set of astrological energies, and certain alignments might affect you mentally, emotionally as well. So imagine if just by the sun or the moon shifting just a mild degree of it, or even the alignment of certain planetary alignment, right, could cause sea and tidal waves to move. How can it not affect the water in your system to move? So with all this movement within your body, it is very important that you know, that you're aware that somehow it doesn't feel right in this specific day, but you just can't explain why. So being conscious and being aware that all these astrological movements can actually affect you. So having aura protections or auric layers that are strong can actually help you fend off this kind of astrological movement and energies. Okay. Then lastly, it can also protect you from man-made EMF, so electromagnetic fields. So it could just be simple things like Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, all this kind of man-made signals. So it's actually causing us harm. It saps away our energy as well. Okay, so with your understanding of why it's important to have good and strong auric layers, right, now we move on into the 12 signs to help you improve and increase your aura. Okay, so first method is to make sure that you expose yourself to negative ions. So what is negative ions? So negative ions, right, can only, I would say, most of the time be found in nature. Okay, negative ions is basically used for clearing of radical bodies in your system. Okay, so what is how do you actually get yourself exposed to negative ions? Negative ions, you can actually be found mainly on grass, so on the ground. So it'll be good if you can walk barefooted certain times when you're walking in the park, walk in the grass patches, walk for it doesn't need to be very long. It can just be 5 minutes walking in the park with your dog. Maybe if you're walking a dog, yeah, it can just be walking barefooted. Or you could even hug a tree. Okay, certain people like to hug trees because when you hug trees, there's a lot of negative ions in trees as well. Or it could even be waterfalls, nature. Okay, it could just be lapping of sea waves, or it could even be when you're walking in the rain. Okay, there's this clear creeps of energy vibrations whenever there's certain smells that you can smell the rain. Okay, all these are what we call negative ions. Okay, so point number 2. Okay, so point number 2 is visualization and calling upon your higher self. Why we talk about visualization? Because know this, our thought, everything in, we must understand, the thought vibrations hold a lot of power in us. Okay, we must understand that vibrations is all the vibrations that's generated through thought can actually mold and change our reality. Okay, so when you close your eyes, you visualize, always visualize yourself being protected. Okay, a golden white light from your higher self, or even from the universe, your guides, your guardian angels, can actually help you to create a protection. Okay, they will just imagine your higher self or from the universe basically throwing a glow of white light, golden white light from above, rushing through all your chakras. That's where you refill up your chakra points. Okay, so that's how you level up your auric fields. Okay, so thirdly, using crystals. So some of the best crystals that even I've mentioned before in one of my videos in crystals. Okay, some of the properties that are really good. So you can actually make use of amethyst. So amethyst is really good to convert negative energies into positive energy. So one of the most all-rounder ones are amethyst. Or then you can also make use of shungite or black tourmaline. These two black crystals, right, they are made to cleanse off any form of negative frequencies as well as EMF. So it's really good to use to cleanse your system whenever you're using a lot of technology, using the phone a lot more. Okay, so that's really good. Another one would be labradorite. So labradorite is also really good for cleansing off your energies on your body. So it's a lot of blockages, you can use your labradorite to do it. But make sure you cleanse all your crystals first before you do that. Okay, so I've got one video for sharing about cleansing and charging your crystals. So please perform that before you actually use your crystals. Okay, so fourth point, using of essential oils. So a lot of people like to use aromatherapy, so I've actually mentioned it before. It helps in terms of anxiety as well, but essential oils itself is also good to expand your auric fields. So if you use essential oils, there's specific flavors such as lavender, sandalwood, all these kind of smells that actually helps you to increase your auric layers. So it'd be good to go and research a little bit more onto what essential oils that you actually prefer, but there's a lot of essential oils that helps you to increase your auric fields. Okay, so fifth is to eat and drink high vibrationally. So make sure whatever we fuel in our system, I mentioned before in some of my pranic videos, pranic energy foods, okay, high pranic foods and low pranic foods, make sure that you'll be eating the high pranic foods. Okay, eat mostly things that are live. Okay, so things like plants, they don't mind you eating them as long as you're performing gratitude to the food. And always be thankful for food and water, because why? They, especially live plants, okay, like live salads, if you're eating vegetables and also and forth, make sure that you're always grateful for the food that you have on the table, because by doing that, just by holding thought vibrations to, or you're speaking to your food. So there's a lot of traditions where people like from the Christian family or even in the Catholics, they perform gratitudes before they eat their meals. It's because of this reason also, because when you thank them, you thank the food, that's where you change the vibrational alignment or the molecular movements within the food, especially for water itself, food and water. Okay, so make sure you eat and drink high vibrationally. So when you thank water, you say grace to the water, you change the molecular movement of the water, so it goes into you and it becomes good inside your system as well. Okay, and if you're try to avoid those highly processed food, especially, of course, I would advise you not to eat so much meat, seafood and all this kind of stuff. Anything that is dead is not very good for the system, because your body works very hard to get rid of this food from the system, and it not only does that, it also saps off your pranic energy, so it saps your energy basically. So your energy, when it saps your energy, how can you expand when you're sapping off? You see, so whatever you feed yourself needs to be adding on rather than subtracting. Okay, so 6, tapping. So there's specific points that meridian system. So a lot of TCMs, right, acupunctures, they do all this. They tap on the specific meridian points or chakra points basically. So there's points like the top of the head, throat, below the chest. All these are actually specific meridian points that helps you to boost your auric fields. So you can actually go and Google out some of these charts. I will be sharing certain images here and there, but it will be good to go and do research on the specific points that you would like to boost. Okay, and so take for instance, if you're trying to boost your throat chakra, the Vishuddhi, so maybe you could just throw below the pit of the throat. So when you tap there lightly, you can actually increase the auric fields around that throat chakra. So there's a lot of benefits just by tapping. Okay, or even the top of the head. That's where you tap the main highest form of chakra above the crown chakra. So when you do that, you are able to receive a lot of good energies from above. Okay, so there's a lot of benefits just by doing tapping. Yeah. So point number 7, spend more time in the sun. So I've mentioned in some of my TikTok videos as well. So sun itself is the source of life. Okay, powerful creator. Okay, it is where it not only produces solar energy, but it also provides prana energy. Okay, so when you are exposed yourself in the sun, it doesn't need to be long. It could just be 5 minutes a day. Under the sun, you can, with less clothing covering up all your skin, absorb as much sun, because when you're absorbing sun, you're absorbing pranic energy into you. So a good sun exposure is good for the body, and it provides vitamin D, so on and so forth, right? That's why it's good for the body. Okay, don't do it, try not to do it so much under like late afternoons where the sun is overly hot and glaring. So this is actually cancerous as well if you do it too much, right? So do it most of the time. Is best in the early mornings. Okay, next, point number 8, shield yourself from a psychic attack. So basically this point, right, is meant for you to avoid energy vampires, as well as you learn to protect yourself through a set of understanding, through visualizations, through meditations. You learn how to create energy shields, so that these energy shields, you can even visualize yourself from your higher self, your guides or your guardian angels, to create an energy protection shield around you, so that you cannot be attacked from any forms of, you cannot, basically psychic energy attacks, right, can't get through you so easily, because when you have this protection shield, that's when it's become very dense, right? Nothing can get through so easily. Okay, so there's ways to do it, and if you're interested, you could I could share some of my my very useful research. It will help you to expand your knowledge on how you could actually do that as well. Okay, so the next one will be point number 9. So is yoga. Okay, I've been emphasizing yoga quite a few times, and I myself is also practicing it. So yoga is mind, body, spirit alignment. So when you align yourself and you create this complexity in your system, your aura is boosted. Okay, it's also providing you with a lot of prana energy whenever you do yoga. Not only that, when you practice yoga itself, right, you are releasing any form of energy, negative energy, trapped energy especially, and it loosens all your joints in your body. It loosens up every stuck or blockage in your system, and it releases back to earth. That's why there's a lot of things like sun salutations, moon salutations, like ground energies, grounding, all this kind of thing is all natural and is connected to nature, if you notice. Okay, so this is why yoga is one of the very most important point that you could try out. Okay, so point number 10, meditation plus good deep sleep. Okay, so make sure you practice a lot of meditations. Of course, I've also been emphasizing a lot of videos has been emphasizing about meditation. So meditation has its own benefits, okay? So when you do meditations, you can set it as a ritual, okay? When I talk about rituals, it's a set of regulations that you perform on a daily basis, okay? And you could do it in the morning and at night before you go to bed. And so when you do it before you're going to bed, it helps you relax your system, so you preps you up ready to go to bed. And when you're prepped up and you're having a good sleep, deep sleep especially, then that's where you charge up your energies. You have more willpower and you have more resilience, and then your auric layers is also strengthened in this whole process, okay? So you must make sure that it doesn't necessarily mean that 8 hours of sleep is needed, but all you need is really good 4 or 5 deep hours of sleep. Wow, that is impressive and that's good enough, okay? Next, I'll move on into point 11, smudging. And smudging is very highly linked to using the sage, okay? Sage sticks. So when you smudge a room, you can cleanse the room. Basically use joss sticks or incense sticks or even sage sticks, right? You can actually smudge the room. You can also smudge yourself. So it helps you cleanse off any bad energies, unwanted energies or blockages in your spiritual body as well as your auric layers. So if you're feeling that maybe you've been having a lot of stress lately, maybe you can smudge your on top of the head a little bit more and you clear off any of these blockages in your spiritual body, and then that's where you start to feel a lot more focused and you start to feel less stressed. So this is a good sign of using smudging, okay? So perhaps maybe you've been having bad stomach lately, so smudge your solar plexus around the stomach a lot more. So there's ways to actually help you. There's a direct correlation towards your physical body, but however, know this, that we are energy beings, so that smudging helps you to cleanse off all these unwanted energies that's trapped in your system, okay? The last most important point is to perform emotional healing. And perform emotional healing basically means inner work, okay? When you learn how to do self-discovery. So is there like a bad past experience that you have encountered, or is there any traumas that has been trapped in your past, in your emotional history, and you need this form of healing? And when you learn to ascend or transcend all these traumas, right, you let go of all the past, your auric layers increase, and when it increases, you ascend to a new level, okay? And having an understanding of your emotional healing and understanding of your past, letting go, coming to acceptance, that's where you learn how to expand your energy fields as well as you grow beyond your understanding of spiritual path, okay? So that's the most utmost importance level actually, yeah? So with that, I think I've actually covered all 12 points. So make sure if you guys actually learn anything in this video, please make sure you comment your learnings in the comment section below, okay? And yeah, I'm gonna end this video off. Pranam, namaste.